Hi, it's Sam at TechPhobe, and today I'm going to be showing you a straightforward guide as to how you would go about installing WordPress on your web hosting account. Now, if you've just registered a domain and are looking for an easy way to get a website up and running, then I would definitely recommend using a content management system like WordPress. Like I say, it's going to make it very easy for you in getting content up and running. So first things first, if you can get your browser up and running, the first bit of software that I'm going to ask you to download is a file transfer protocol software called FTP. It's called FileZilla. So if you can enter that into Google to download, basically this bit of software is going to communicate with your web hosting account and will allow us to upload the files, or the WordPress files, sorry, so that it can be installed. So basically on FileZilla, you need to make sure you click the download FileZilla client one. Again, you'll have another prompt to download, so you can click that green button. Get the usual kind of message, wait 3 or 4 seconds and the download appears, which it has. Click on the file, install the software, just follow the prompts. It's a very straightforward bit of software to install. I've already got it, so of course that's the reason why I'm not installing it right now. Now the next step is of course getting hold of the WordPress download files so that we can get them uploaded. So type in WordPress download into Google. First result you can see there is the one we want, so click on that. Right hand side, download WordPress, which 3.6.1 is the current version. I've already downloaded these files, but what you would do is just click that. Again, a little file will appear down the bottom. It's a zip file, contains all the relevant files, which I'll show you in a moment. Now, the next thing we need to do is get FileZilla up, which is of course the software that we installed earlier. Now, when you registered your domain, you should have been provided with some literature which would go through certain information that's relevant to your domain, as this is the information that you're going to need to input at this stage. So if you haven't got it, contact your web host company so they can send it on to you. So up here is you'll need your web host address, your username and your password. There's also a section for port. Don't worry too much about it. Normally it's not used. Again, ask your web host company, they'll be able to tell you. Once that information's inputted, click Quick Connect. Ignore this box here. I've currently got a connection open, which is why it's asking me, it's prompted me to abort this connection and start a new one. So it will just start the connection normally and it will show you an empty folder, as you can see here. So that's all connected, empty folder, ready for the WordPress files to go in. Now what we need to do is get up the files that were downloaded earlier from the WordPress site. So if I just move that over to the left hand side of the screen, this folder is basically the zip file that we downloaded earlier. So basically you'll be shown a WordPress folder. If you double click on that, all of these files are what needs to be transferred across to your web host via FileZilla. So if you click on one of the items within this folder and click Control A, basically that selects all of the items. So now when you click on them and hold the mouse down, drag it across till you get to this box here as shown. You can see the cursor's changed. Let go once you know that you've got all the files, and that's showing that it's extracting from the zip file, and now you'll see up here from that box that it's transferring all of them across. Now this transfer can take anywhere from 3 minutes through to 5, possibly even longer. The factors involved here are dependent upon your internet connection and of course who your web hosting company is. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to skip across to the end of the transfer. So all those files are transferred across now, so we can minimize these screens, get them out of the way. Go back onto your browser. The website address is what you're going to need to enter in here. For this demonstration, the website I've got is ufreelancing.com, so I'm going to enter that in now, just to show you the next stage of the installation. So ufreelancing.com, hit return. Of course, the site's not set up yet, so it's come up with a message stating that a configuration file needs to be created. So that's of course what we're going to click next, is this little button here. Now this page is quite important because it basically shows you the information here that you need to obtain if you haven't done so already from your web hosting company. So get hold of that information, then proceed by clicking Let's Go down the bottom. This, you will be pleased, is the last technical part to installing WordPress on your web hosting account. Now, the information I was talking about earlier, as you'll see as we go by step, first of all, you need to enter in your database name, the username, which, to be honest, most often is your actual domain itself. So for example, mine would be ufreelancing.com. The password of course, which would be your MySQL password, which again will be shown in the literature you've received. Database host, which of course is quite important. It's what points to your database on your web hosting account. And the table prefix, don't worry about this part, just leave this as it is. Best not to mess with it. Now's the time to go ahead and enter the information into your own WordPress installation on this particular page, as I've just gone through with you. Now, when you've got the literature in front of you and you're entering the information like I'm doing right now, make sure that all of the letters and spacing are correct. So what I mean by that is if you've got a capital, make sure that it's written down as a capital, because it will make a difference. Obviously not forgetting to leave the table prefix as it is currently. So move over, click submit. Now it basically states we're ready to run the installation, so click that button. Now this is the last part of the WordPress installation, so this is where you're going to enter in your WordPress site title, the username of which you're going to use as the administrator of the site, and of course the password and email. Once you've filled all the boxes in with all the relevant information, you'll notice there's a tick box at the bottom which is allow search engines to index this site. It's a matter of preference as to whether you keep this ticked or unticked. You know, my only advice being here is that if you're planning on working on this site over a period of time and would rather your site not show up in search results, you know, in the likes of Google and Yahoo, then I would untick this. Otherwise, leave it as is and go ahead and click the Install WordPress button. And it's as simple as that as far as the installation is concerned. You've now got the option to log in by clicking this button. Enter in the username and password that you chose in the previous step. Hit enter or click login. And you're in. This is the back end of WordPress, the administrative side of it. There are a lot of options here of which I'm not going to be going through in this tutorial. So for now, if you take your mouse up to the top where your site title is, hover over that and click Visit Site. And here you have it. This is your WordPress website. As you can see, it's automatically put in the site title that I selected earlier. There is a lot of customization that can be done with WordPress, and as you saw in the previous screen briefly, there's a lot of options on the administrator side of things, which of course, like I said, I'm not going to go through in this tutorial. Of course, the whole purpose was to show you how to install it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been informative. And please keep an eye out for future tutorials.